Loggins and Messina had their huge run, and I think they went their separate ways in about 76-ish, and Jimmy's a very meticulous guy. It's why he was a good producer, and it was why when he sat in, quote unquote, with Kenny, the record label couldn't miss the fact that there was that great chemistry and that things were getting done, and it was getting done right. Once they split up, he took a long while to write his music and put his band together to do the thing that he wanted to do, which was a Latin salsa influenced rock. My history is not that great, but I think it was pre-Miami Sound Machine. Certainly not pre the music, but pre in the pop world that flavor was going to come into it, that kind of Tex-Mex, salsa kind of meld. And that's what he was in Santa Barbara putting together. Right place at the right time. Like I say, we hit it off, and we recorded his first solo album, which was called Oasis, on Columbia. And Columbia gave him free rein to do what he wanted to do because he was Jim Messina. And they got it, and they went, we don't have a clue what to do with this. Because we were playing real syncopated, complex rhythms with more complex rhythmical vocals put on top of it. In some cases we pulled it off. In some cases we were pretty green, but it didn't work. And the only thing we did in that 2-year span of any real substance was to open for Little River Band for 2 weeks on the West Coast while they were recording a live CD. Again, right place, right time. They were looking for a singing bass player. There was a political reason for it within the band to look for another singer. Obviously they needed someone as a permanent bass player because they were on the high end of their wave, 16, 20,000 people every night, big festivals with the Eagles, with Heart, with Fleetwood Mac, with, play all over the world. And so they wanted a permanent member, and they basically stood side stage because Messina was a legend. They wanted to see him and what he was doing. And then as they got used to that, the guys that were the powers that be stood and kind of auditioned me for 2 weeks, playing these rhythmical things and singing on top of it and where we were going and whatever, and then asked me at the end of that 2 weeks, do I want to tour, possibly record, possibly be a band member, take it all a step at a time. And in my genius, I said no, because we had our own little band within the Messina band. His other plan was for us to do our material. He would produce us. We'd be his band, kind of a band Dylan kind of a thing. And so I said no to Little River Band. The whole Messina thing fell apart a month later, and I went, do I still have that piece of paper, that napkin with the number on it? And I called them, and they said, yeah, we're not doing anything till April. We'll call you back. And I went, yeah, sure, they'll call me back. And I figured it was over. And sure enough, in April, they called back and said, we're going here, here, here. We're going to start doing new material. We're going to start another album, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, where do I go, and when do you want me there? That kind of thing. So luckiest guy to hit that path. I can't. I'm still doing it for the band 28 years later, 29 years later after that, when all those other people have given up or quit or gotten sick of it. And